Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the Middle East Vigil weekly service. As every week, week after week, we are all waiting for the outcome following the collapse of the United States-Iran negotiations in Pakistan, in Islamabad. And somehow we do accept the renewals of hostilities. We had a few days of quiet, but very tense quiet. In the meanwhile, we can, in a nutshell, scan very rapidly the role superpowers play in West Asia nowadays. Superpowers don't only intervene, but they compete and they influence local actors. There is no clear boss of West Asia anymore. And we see regional powers acting more like self-interested firms in a competitive market. So, no clear boss of West Asia after a century of having bosses in the Middle East. So among the superpowers, we have the United States. At military speaking, the United States remains the most important actor today. As a matter of fact, it is the only external power today, together with Israel, that is in active war in the region with Iran. And even though it is militarily active, it is less able to dictate outcomes across the region, and it is less dominant than before. The other superpowers, Russia and China, in terms of diplomacy and economy, not so much militarily, they have a growing influence in the area. Russia still maintains military bases, like in Syria, for instance, and still challenges the United States' influence, even though its resources are stretched by the war in Ukraine. Russia does play an important role. It's a diplomatic role of a middleman. Another superpower, China, is a rising economic and diplomatic power. And quietly and surely, it's gaining ground and avoiding military entanglement. China maintains relations with most countries in the area. So those are the three main superpowers that I will mention. And the big shift now is that the local actors are more decisive than the superpowers. Alliances have been shifting for a while, and we see that the field is becoming more diversified, more multipolar, even though it is getting more volatile. So, in a nutshell, and in a very general way, in this period of transition, let us hope that higher motives of the good of all, may prevail and fill the current power void. Thank you for being with us week after week. It's a great support. Over to you, Efrat.
Thank you, Helen. Good evening, dear friend. Really thank you for being here. I would like tonight not only to share with you some events, but as well the atmosphere, because tonight it's the eve of Holocaust Remembrance Day. So it's very special atmosphere, very quiet in the street, combined with this on hold situation with the war, that every minute the missile can come back to us. So this is the atmosphere, very mixed and strange and surrealistic in a way. About the Holocaust Remembrance Day, I would like to introduce or to share with you that alongside the official ceremonies held to mark this day, especially I would like to put a light on a different, more personal perspective. Under the title of Zikaron Basalon, meaning living room remembrance, people open their home and invite Holocaust survivors to share their stories and experience to small groups of people who simply come to listen. It started on a small scale, and today there are more and more, maybe hundreds of such gatherings. I would also like to highlight an unusual event that happened for the first time this past Saturday night, when the three main television channels did not broadcast the Prime Minister's speech in their main news edition. It began with the leading channel announcing that it would not air the speech because it was pre-recorded and contained no new messages. And also to mention that Netanyahu refused to answer any new news people, and doesn't really agree to answer any question and only give a statement. Many times it's recorded statement. So the other two major channels follow by cutting off the broadcast after 2 or 3 minutes. I'm not a commentator and will not speculate on whether this marks the beginning of a trend or what its implication might be, but is an unusual event and important. Another point is that yesterday, in the election in Hungary, Prime Minister Orban lost his hold on power. Orban, a close ally of Netanyahu, and more than that, many of Netanyahu's action against democratic institutions and the judicial system have drawn inspiration and support from Orban. At first glance, it seems like it have nothing directly to do with Israel, but it has received considerable attention, especially on social media. Thank you.
Hello, friends. Thank you, Helen and Efrat, for sharing a little bit, a window into the Middle East. And it seems that all kinds of new and unexpected sparks surface here between all the chaos that is going on. Yeah, so let us do our work. I just want to mention again that we will, at the end, we will sound the great invocation in Hebrew, Farsi, and Arabic. And as we do that, let us do it as an act of intent, of distributing and anchoring the saving force for these different cultural fields within the Middle East and, of course, also in the whole world. So let us settle into our body, taking a breath. Coming into the inner silence, the place of peace within us. Touching in with our heart between the shoulder blades, the deep heart where love and will unites. Consecrating our hearts in harmlessness. Collecting our mental forces now into the center of the head. And from here, let us expand into an inclusive planetary perspective. As souls in incarnation, let us come together now, visualizing ourselves perhaps on a mountain top, overlooking the world. Let our hearts unite into one pulsing, dedicated heart. And our minds come together, creating one telepathic, unified field, mental field. And as souls, we stand together with all soul-guided servers as the one planetary server. And let us turn our eyes towards struggling humanity, observing for a moment all these forces in motion everywhere. How these old crystallized sixth ray forces crystallized forms of an ending age, how they are spending their last forces in distorted and violent ways. And focusing in now on the region of West Asia, And taking a moment to just observe these extreme forces in action in West Asia. The war partly on hold, but still going on in Lebanon. All these tensions in the whole region. Let's see if we can get a sense of the different motives that are clashing here. What is it that brings such extreme friction? And let us observe now what this extreme friction is doing on the emotional level. In West Asia. Just observing. Highly inflammable. And let's also take a look at the physical destruction. So we are refocusing now on the mountaintop, standing as a group, one heart, one mind, soul to soul, as part of the Ajna center of the planet, together with all those who truly care and who impartially serve. And from here, let us take a moment to hold our brothers and sisters in West Asia in our heart. And we now do our transmutive work. From the mountaintop, as the world group, let us draw a line of light upwards towards hierarchy, the planetary heart. Feel the love of our higher co-workers, ashramic co-workers, and their presence with us. Continuing now the line towards Shambhala, planetary head. And within this high alignment, let us open our consciousness to the higher potential, to the destiny, to the intended design for West Asia, in this friction zone between East and West. And let us visualize and imagine this intended design, this higher vibration, making itself more and more felt, so that the violent conflict can gradually transform into a field of creative tension. Let us trace this possibility in our consciousness. Violent conflict transforming into a field of creative tension. And let us now invoke the Lords of Liberation to help us and humanity, and especially West Asia, to release all that stands in the way to this higher energy, to release all the old patterns which are an obstacle to that which is meant to come about, and to awaken our souls so we may forge together a path for the saving force on our planet. Let the Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to humanity. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming save. Come forth, Almighty One. Let the souls of men awaken to the light, and may we stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth, the end of woe has come. Come forth, Almighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, Almighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, Almighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. See and sense a shaft of pure golden white light, broad and brilliant, flood West Asia. See a huge column of light pouring through all planes. Hold this column steady in the will to peace. See soul light flooding the mental plane of the Middle East. See soul light pouring into the astral plane of the Middle East. See soul light pouring into the etheric physical plane of the Middle East, penetrating into the earth. Joining with the Devic forces, cleansing the ancient records of evil sharing, dissolving and purifying them, opening the way to the recognition that every human life is sacred and humanity is one. Let us bundle the cry for the coming one, who is called by different names in West Asia. And we invoke him for all of us. Visualize him in the center of a triangle between the spirit of peace, the Buddha, and the avatar of synthesis. Through his heart, visualize the saving force pouring into West Asia, through each nation, each ethnic group, each religious group, revealing a possible way forward. Visualize the principle of the highest good of all, silently impressing the awakening souls, guiding humanity on the way from solar plexus dynamics into the heart. Let us affirm this as we sound the great invocation in Hebrew, Farsi, and Arabic.
מנקודת האור אשר בדעת אל, יזרום האור אל דעת האדם. ירד האור על פני האדמה. מנקודת האהבה אשר בלב האל, תזרום האהבה אל לבבות אנוש. ישוב מורה עולם על פני האדמה. מן המרכז שבו נודע רצון האל, תנחה תכלית את רצונות אדם. תכלית אותה מורי האנושות יודעים ומשרתים. מהמרכז אשר נקרא המין האנושי, תוגשם תוכנית האהבה והאור, ויחתם הפתח אל הרע. יהי רצון, ויחדשו אהבה, אור ועוצמה, את התוכנית על פני האדמה. אמן.
از نقطه نور در ذهن خداوند بگذار نور در ذهن انسانها جریان یابد. بگذار نور به زمین فرود آید. از نقطه عشق در قلب خداوند بگذار عشق در قلب انسانها جریان یابد. بگذار مسیح به زمین بازگردد. از مرکزی که در آن اراده خداوند شناخته شده است بگذار هدف اراده های کوچک انسانها را راهنمایی کند. هدفی که استادان می دانند و خدمت می کنند. از مرکزی که ما آن را نژاد انسان می نامیم بگذار نقشه عشق و نور کارگر افتد و در به سوی دنیای تاریکی را ببندد. بگذار نور و عشق و قدرت نقشه زمین را بازسازی کنند.
من نقطة النور في العقل الإلهي ليشع النور في عقول الناس وليهبط النور إلى الأرض. من نقطة الحب في القلب الإلهي ليتسرب الحب إلى قلوب الناس وليرجع معلم الكون إلى الأرض. من المركز الذي تعرف منها إرادة الله لتقود الغاية إرادة الناس البسيطة، تلك الغاية التي يدركها المعلمون ويخدمونها. من المركز الذي ندون بالجنس البشري لينتج تسمين الحب والنور ويختم على الباب الذي يقيم به الشر، ليجدد النور والحب والقوة التسمين على الأرض. الله أمين.